Our 50-hectare site has been producing titanium dioxide pigment in Stallingborough since the 1950s. Currently, we are the largest site of our type in Europe and have a diverse workforce made up of staff and contractors totaling around 500 people. We'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our site and hope your time with us is both enjoyable and productive. Your safety here is important to us and starts with this induction. This will help you understand the risks and hazards you may encounter and any steps to be taken in the event of a major accident scenario. There are questions to answer designed to support your understanding. If you get any wrong, don't worry, you'll be able to try again or watch the video once more. If you're unsure about anything, your site induction facilitator is here to help. In the event of an emergency, there are a number of different alarms that will be sounded across the site, and it's important that you're able to recognise what they mean. The major emergency alarm is a wailing siren that sounds like this. It's the signal to go to a refuge area immediately and is tested each Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. The incident alarm is a series of rapid pips on the tannoy system and sounds like this. This alarm may sound in conjunction with one of the other alarms and is associated with a minor incident where only localised plant areas are affected. A warning will be given via a tannoy message and flashing warning lights will be visible for the duration of the incident. A continuous siren warns you of a fire in a process plant and sounds like this. You should leave the area by the safest nearest exit and go to the fire assembly point immediately. You might hear a local fire bell within buildings. The bell will sound like this. The Research and Development Centre have their own system, and this sounds like. If you hear either of these alarms, then leave the building by the safest nearest exit and report immediately to your fire assembly point where a roll call will be conducted. If you hear the major emergency alarm, go immediately to the nearest refuge area. Remember, it's safer to go across rather than downwind, so check the windsocks for the best direction to follow. Ensure you have your respirator with you. Alternatively, if you don't have one, there are stocks held at each refuge area. Once you arrive at the refuge area, register your card at the reader. If you have any difficulty, report to the marshal, who'll be wearing an orange vest. If there's no one at the refuge area location, follow the instructions located in the refuge area. In the event of a fire, there are some basic rules to remember. On hearing the local fire alarm for your area, stop what you're doing and evacuate by the nearest safe exit, closing doors and windows if it's safe to do so, and report to your nearest fire assembly point. Alternatively, if you discover a fire, then raise the alarm and report this by dialing 3333 from any site telephone. The security officer at the gatehouse will answer and explain what to do. Please remember, smoking is only allowed in designated areas and CCTV is used to monitor this. Flammable liquids and chemicals can be found all over the site, so there's a genuine reason for this rule. Whilst on the Stallingborough site, it is not permitted to use a mobile phone whilst walking. If for whatever reason you need to use your mobile phone, stop walking and ensure you're in a safe area before using your handset. The UK Highway Code regulations apply here on site, so a mobile must never be used whilst driving, and seat belts should always be worn. The site follows similar signage to those used on public highways, so many of them will be familiar to you. They must be observed at all times, including the directional arrows, as there are one-way road systems in place. There are also additional routing signs for hazardous materials and goods inwards, and always take instructions from the security staff. For all deliveries inside the main production units, a barrier system is in place. To access these areas, you will need to report to the local permit office, where a member of staff will unlock and raise the barrier and act as a banksman at all times whilst inside the barrier constraints. Any accidents or incidents must be reported to security before leaving site. If your vehicle is unsafe to drive, then walk directly to the security gatehouse. You may be asked to have a drug and alcohol test. There's a mandatory 10 miles per hour speed limit for all vehicles, and Tronox conduct regular random speed checks throughout the site, so it's important you observe the limits at all times. After you've completed this induction, you'll be issued with basic personal protection equipment, or PPE, which includes a hard hat, protective glasses, a respirator and gloves. You'll be advised of any additional PPE requirements dependent on the area of plant you're conducting a delivery to. It's important you understand how to use the respirator, since in the unlikely event an incident does happen, it could save your life. Remove the unit from the hold all and place the mouthpiece in your mouth. Use the clip provided to secure your nose so you're only breathing through your mouth. The respirator is to be used during a safe muster to a refuge point. We place a high importance on the health and safety of anyone visiting or working at the Stanningborough site, and if you have reason to think anyone is being placed in jeopardy or the environment is being put at risk by work at the site, then you should tell your host. There are questions to answer to complete your induction, and once you've answered these correctly, please report back to the site induction facilitator, who will issue you with a site pass. We wish you a safe and pleasant stay whilst on the Stanningborough site. Please click Next now to continue.